the reign of the F-22 Raptor is coming to a close. This legendary fighter once dominated the skies with unmatched power. But a new contender has emerged: NASA's X-59, the quiet supersonic aircraft. Built to pioneer a new era of high speed, faster than sound travel, the X-59 is engineered to minimize the disruptive sonic boom that has long limited supersonic flights. Could this silent speedster redefine what we know about supersonic flight? And what makes it so revolutionary compared to the mighty Raptor? Could the X-59 actually outshine the legendary Raptor? What sets this cutting-edge aircraft apart from the fifth-generation F-22 in terms of raw capability and innovation? Join us as we dive deep into the groundbreaking technology and unique features of the X-59, a machine designed not just to fly, but to push the boundaries of what modern aviation can achieve. The Lockheed Martin 10-59 Key SST, which stands for Quiet Supersonic Technology, is a cutting-edge experimental aircraft being built by Skunk Works for NASA. Its mission? To tackle one of aviation's toughest challenges: reducing the disruptive sonic booms that have long limited supersonic flight over land. In the past, the intense noise created when breaking the sound barrier forced the pause or cancellation of other ultra-fast aircraft programs. Yet, the X-59 demonstrates that modern engineering has few boundaries, proving supersonic flight can now be both fast and remarkably quiet. In 2018, the U.S. Air Force confirmed that NASA had officially named the demonstrator the X-59 Key SST. By October of that year, NASA Langley had completed a 3-week series of wind tunnel tests on a scaled-down model. During these tests, engineers analyzed the aircraft's performance at varying angles and speeds. They focused on stability, handling, and airflow patterns, using precise laser measurements. The X-59 Key SST, designed as a low-boom X-plane, stretches 99.7 feet in length with a wingspan of 29.5 feet and a maximum takeoff weight of 32,000 pounds. It's powered by a General Electric F414 engine, capable of reaching top speeds of Mach 1.5 and cruising at Mach 1.42 at 55,000 feet. The cockpit, ejection seat, and canopy are borrowed from a Northrop 38, while the landing gear comes from an F-16. The engine, featuring an afterburner, produces 22,000 pounds of thrust. Thanks to its long, streamlined fuselage and specialized canards, the X-59 dramatically reduces the intensity of the sonic boom. Ground-level noise is brought down to roughly 75 decibels, about as quiet as closing a car door, a stark contrast to the much louder Concorde. However, managing airflow remains tricky because of the aircraft's long, sharply pointed nose. Since the cockpit offers no direct forward view, the X-59 relies on an advanced vision system. A 4 Kelvin's wide-angle camera feeds an enhanced flight display, effectively replacing traditional line-of-sight visibility. Collins Aerospace supplies the avionics suite, which includes a specialized system to map and monitor the sonic boom, along with infrared sensors to assist during landing. Once NASA confirmed the X-59 was safe to fly at the Armstrong Flight Research Center, they conducted tests to map the shockwave patterns. Next, they planned flights over various U.S. cities to measure just how quiet and safe the X-59 could be, while also observing public reactions. This data would inform regulators on whether supersonic planes could eventually operate over land. NASA also planned flights over residential areas to observe how communities would respond to the aircraft's noise. The findings are expected to inform new regulations on sonic booms, with a policy discussion set for 2027 and a final decision on supersonic overland travel potentially coming in 2028. Meanwhile, NASA confirmed the installation of the General Electric F414 engine at Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works facility in Palmdale, California. This powerhouse engine stretches 13 feet and delivers 22,000 pounds of thrust. Even with the breakthroughs of this supersonic jet, one critical question remains: can it truly fix the biggest challenge of supersonic flight? At speeds below sound, aircraft generate sound waves that disperse evenly in all directions. But once a plane exceeds the speed of sound, it outruns its own noise. These waves compress into a single, powerful shock wave that stretches from the nose to the tail of the aircraft. When this concentrated shock wave reaches someone on the ground, it produces the iconic loud boom. This isn't just a one-time event at the moment. The plane breaks the sound barrier. It happens continuously as long as the jet is flying faster than sound. The X-59 is engineered to prevent those shock waves from merging into a single, thunderous boom. Instead, they disperse gradually thanks to carefully designed shapes on the aircraft's surface. Additionally, the engine sits on top of the fuselage rather than beneath it, keeping the bottom smooth and avoiding the direct transmission of shock waves to the ground. As a result, NASA estimates that the X-59 will produce only about 75 decibels of noise while flying supersonic. To put that in perspective, it's roughly as soft as distant thunder or the snap of a car door closing around the corner, far gentler on the ears than a traditional sonic boom. The most critical phase of the program is set to begin later in 2024. This involves a series of test flights over 6 carefully chosen neighborhoods across the United States. Each location was selected to represent a variety of weather conditions and geographical features, ensuring comprehensive real-world testing. Nicole mentioned that this stage of the project is particularly thrilling because it actively engages the public, sparking curiosity in science. The approach draws inspiration from a 1964 Federal Aviation Administration experiment where supersonic fighter jets were flown repeatedly over Oklahoma City to monitor residents' reactions to the loud sonic booms. As expected, the results were far from ideal. Around 20% of the population reported being disturbed, and 4% even submitted complaints seeking compensation for potential damages. Initially, the X-59 will undergo test flights in a controlled, restricted area to carefully measure the sonic booms. Only after confirming safety will the aircraft fly over residential neighborhoods, maintaining strict limits to ensure the noise remains at a minimal and non-disruptive level. After the X-59 completes flights over the selected neighborhoods, NASA plans to engage directly with the residents to understand their reactions to the noise. The goal is to confirm that the 75 decibel sonic boom is acceptable to the community, which is central to the project's objectives. The feedback collected will then be shared with the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration and aviation regulators worldwide. NASA believes that, if policies evolve, future supersonic aircraft could operate on routes currently restricted, such as New York to Los Angeles, potentially cutting flight times in half. Aviation enthusiasts around the globe are curious about how the X-59 might compare to the F-22 Raptor. But before we dive into that, let's take a closer look at what makes this stealth fighter so remarkable. The F-22's story begins in the 1980s, when the United States Air Force needed a next-generation fighter to address emerging mission challenges. Back then, U.S. officials were aware that both Russia and China were advancing their fighter programs. The Raptor quickly gave the Air Force a critical edge. During the 1990s, as tensions from the Cold War persisted, Moscow and Washington entered an intense arms race. Both nations conducted over 1,700 nuclear tests during this period. By integrating these advancements into a single fighter, the U.S. Air Force, in collaboration with leading American defense contractors, unveiled the F-22 Raptor in 2005. Once the Cold War concluded and the Soviet Union dissolved, the demand for the costly F-22 diminished. In the early 20s, the US shifted its attention toward counterterrorism, initiating the development of the more affordable F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. This strategic pivot led to a cutback in F-22 production. Since entering service in 2005, the F-22 has never engaged another fighter in combat. In fact, its very presence may have played a crucial role in maintaining long-term global stability. Its extraordinary capabilities acted as a strong deterrent against potential adversaries. Any nation daring to challenge the US risked encountering a squadron of F-22 Raptors, possibly facing catastrophic consequences. Stealth is central to the Raptor's dominance. Engineered to avoid detection by radar and even the human eye, it can engage targets before they are aware of its presence. This comes from meticulous design choices, concealed hinges, a carefully sculpted airframe, cooled leading edges, and flat thrust vectoring nozzles that reduce heat emissions and limit vulnerability to heat-seeking missiles. Its design carefully balances stealth with aerodynamic efficiency. Every edge and surface is shaped and aligned to reduce radar reflections. The F-22 is equipped with a variety of flight control surfaces, including flaps, ailerons, rudders, and movable horizontal tails that also function as speed brakes. To generate drag, the ailerons lift, the flaperons drop, and the rudders move outward. In combat situations, the ejection seat is paired with a modified M4 carbine for emergencies. A fighter's avionics essentially define its intelligence, and the F-22 was built to be the smartest in the sky. Its mission systems play a crucial role, including the ALR-94 electronic warfare suite with over 30 antennas for passive detection and complete radar warning coverage. The AAQ-56 sensor monitors for missile launches in infrared and ultraviolet, providing spherical coverage. Meanwhile, the APG-77 radar, an active electronically scanned array, features a low observable aperture and track, while scan abilities in any weather, reducing the chance of being intercepted. Impressively, this radar shifts frequencies more than 1,000 times every second, keeping the Raptor step ahead of potential threats. This rapid frequency switching allows the Raptor to double as a powerful electronic warfare platform capable of overwhelming enemy sensors. Even today, the F-22 remains one of the most capable fighter jets in the world. Its technology is so sensitive that US law prohibits exporting it. Even to trusted allies, only the United States operates this aircraft. Each F-22 requires a detailed maintenance cycle of about 3 weeks for every 300 flight hours. Although its stealth coatings were designed to resist weather, initial deployments to Guam in 2009 revealed issues with rain and humidity. Maintaining the stealth features is labor-intensive, accounting for nearly a third of total upkeep. New, more resilient coatings are now in development to help reduce this maintenance load. Major overhauls for the F-22 are conducted at the Ogden Air Logistics Complex at Hill Air Force Base in Utah, with extra attention given due to the relatively small size of the fleet. In 2015, Raptors were ready for missions about 63% of the time, a notable increase from 40% in earlier years. Maintenance hours per flight hour also improved dramatically, dropping from 30 hours initially to just 10.5 hours by 2009, surpassing the required standard of 12 hours. By 2014, each flight hour required around 43 man-hours of work. The mean time between maintenance, or MTBM, started at just 1.7 hours but rose to 3.2 hours by 2012. The F-22's UR upgrade program was once rumored to be cancelled because of budget constraints, but recent images hint that development may still be ongoing. The U.S. Air Force has pledged more than $9 billion to modernize the remaining Raptors through the end of this decade. These enhancements will include the new low-drag tanks, upgraded sensors, and refinements to the aircraft's stealth systems. Part of this effort is aimed at keeping the F-22 ahead of potential adversaries, like China's J-20, and ensuring it remains a dominant force until the next-generation 6th-gen fighter becomes fully operational. So, to clarify, the X-59 QuSST is designed by NASA mainly as a civilian low-boom supersonic jet, not as a successor to the F-22 Raptor. The true replacement for the Raptor will be the next-generation air dominance fighter. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.